It's February 1943, and deep within the frozen wilderness of Telemark, Norway, 6 men are about to embark on one of the most daring missions of World War II. Their objective: sabotage the Nazi-controlled Vemork heavy water plant, the critical facility at the heart of Germany's efforts to build an atomic bomb. The stakes couldn't be higher. If Hitler's scientists succeed, the war could end with catastrophic consequences for the Allies and the world. This is the story of the Telemark heroes, ordinary Norwegians who risked everything to halt the Nazi nuclear program. Their journey began years earlier, amidst the occupation of their homeland, but on this bitterly cold night, history would turn on their bravery. To understand why these men found themselves skiing across one of the most unforgiving landscapes on Earth, we must go back to the early days of the war. Norway, a country rich in natural resources and strategically vital, had been invaded by Germany in April 1940. Despite fierce resistance, the Norwegian forces were overwhelmed and the country fell under Nazi control. One of the prizes of this invasion was the Norsk hydro plant in Vemork. Originally built in the 1930s, this industrial marvel produced ammonia for fertilizer, but in its process, it also created deuterium oxide, known as heavy water. For most, this was just a scientific curiosity, but to German physicists like Werner Heisenberg, it was the key to creating a nuclear chain reaction. Heavy water could moderate nuclear fission, allowing a bomb to be built. By 1942, Allied intelligence had discovered that the Germans were significantly ramping up heavy water production at Vemork. This was no coincidence. British and American scientists, including Albert Einstein, had warned of the dangers of a Nazi atomic program. The Allies knew they had to act, and fast. The first attempt to stop the heavy water production was Operation Freshman, conducted in November 1942. British commandos parachuted into Norway, planning to infiltrate the plant and destroy its production cells. But disaster struck early. Harsh weather and navigation errors caused the gliders carrying the soldiers to crash. Survivors were captured and executed by the Gestapo, following Hitler's infamous commando order. The failure of Operation Freshman was devastating, but it also underscored the need for a more localized approach. This time, the mission would be entrusted to Norwegians, who knew the terrain, the weather, and the people. Enter Operation Gunnerside. The Gunnerside team was led by Joachim Rønneberg, a young officer in his early 20s. He was joined by 5 other men, all members of the Company Linge, a Norwegian special operations unit trained in Britain. These were not career soldiers. They were teachers, engineers, and farmers who had fled Nazi-occupied Norway, trained with the British, and returned to fight for their homeland. In February 1943, the team parachuted into the Hardangervidda Plateau, a vast, snow-covered expanse in southern Norway. The Hardangervidda is as beautiful as it is brutal, with freezing winds, deep snowdrifts, and temperatures that could drop to minus 30 degrees Celsius. For weeks, the men endured these conditions, living off reindeer moss, lichens, and the occasional ptarmigan they managed to catch. Despite the harsh environment, they pressed on. The team used skis to cover ground quickly and avoided German patrols with the precision of men who knew the land intimately. As they neared Vemork, the sheer scale of their task became apparent. The Vemork plant was a fortress. Built on a steep mountainside, it was accessible by only a single suspension bridge or a treacherous climb through a gorge. The facility was heavily guarded, with soldiers stationed in watchtowers and patrols sweeping the area. Any approach would require a level of stealth and coordination that few missions in the war had ever demanded. On the night of February 27, 1943, the men made their move. They descended into the gorge, navigating icy cliffs and a rushing river below. The climb back up the opposite side was exhausting, but they pressed on, knowing that detection would mean death. The team reached the plant's perimeter undetected. They cut through the barbed wire fence and slipped inside. The production room was located deep within the plant, and the men moved with the confidence of extensive planning. Once inside, they found the heavy water cells, the heart of the facility. Their mission was not to destroy the entire plant. Instead, they focused on disabling the heavy water production equipment. They placed carefully calculated charges on the critical components, ensuring maximum damage with minimal risk to surrounding structures. The team worked quickly and efficiently. Before leaving, they left behind a note written in Norwegian. "We came here to do this. Greetings to you, the Allies." As the explosives detonated, they rendered the plant's heavy water production inoperable. The Nazis were left scrambling to repair the damage, a process that would take months. But the saboteurs weren't out of danger yet. The escape was just as perilous as the mission itself. The team skied through the snowy wilderness, avoiding German patrols and hunting parties. They traveled hundreds of kilometers over the coming days, navigating some of the most treacherous terrain in Norway. Their survival was a testament to their training, resilience, and sheer determination. The success of Operation Gunnerside sent shockwaves through the German war machine. The damage to Vemork was so severe that heavy water production never fully recovered. Subsequent Allied airstrikes and sabotage missions further crippled the Nazis' nuclear program, effectively ending their pursuit of an atomic bomb. The Telemark heroes returned to Norway as legends, but for them, the mission was never about glory. It was about duty. Their actions inspired countless others to resist the occupation and fight for a free Norway. Today, their story is remembered as one of the most daring and successful sabotage missions of World War II. It stands as a testament to the power of courage, ingenuity, and the unyielding human spirit. The Telemark heroes didn't just save their homeland, they changed the course of history.